In the first video of this playlist, what we did was to bring in this report, and it was a Salesforce report, and we were able to show how to build a table. Now what we want to do is to get data, and we're going to get the specific objects that are contained in this report. And so first step is to be able to say Salesforce, and I'm going to bring in objects. I'm going to connect, and then it's going to bring up, I want to do it production. You have the option of selecting relationship columns. Strong recommendation is don't include relationship columns until you understand exactly kind of what Salesforce is going to bring in. It needs a little bit of testing. The objects that we want to bring in over here, what I'm going to do is to go after the assessment object, and I'm also going to bring in the case record, and this is a custom object specifically for social services, and then I'm going to bring in program, and I can also select program. And then if what I do is and again, every time when you scroll across, you can see exactly kind of which object you're bringing in. Is that in fact the object you wanted based on the fields you're going to look at? If I come back here, what you'll see is program is selected. If I run up and look, there's case record. So, they're all here. Now, I can also just do this and say I want to only, do just the selected data sets. And so what I do is to bring it back, I've got just the ones I wanted. Now, again, take a look at the playlist. Transform is in a future video. Right now, I just want to bring in a load just to show you how this is going to work. So we click load, and what happens then is it tells me there are changes that are pending. It's that they're connecting, and there's a bunch of stages here of the load process. It tells me how many rows. It's looking at relationships, and then what it does is to say it's kind of bringing it up. You'll see when they show up over here that we have them, which means that we can now click anywhere else, and then I can click table and bring in a new table just to show you how this works. Now I want to bring in, let's just kind of make this similar. What I'm going to do is to bring in assessment number, but that's actually not what it is, right? That's actually an object, that's the record name. And so what I'm going to do is to type name here. And again, this is where you kind of have to understand your data to know what you're going to bring through. So I'm going to click name, and it's going to say, there it is. And again, what it's showing you is just an API name. Now, if I float over here, it's going to tell me that that's the assessment record in single quotes. Then in brackets is the actual field name. And so it's good. It's nice to know. I mean, that's something we don't really get in Salesforce, so I like it here. And then I want to now bring in a date, and I want to say, okay, now what date was that? And if we click in on it up here, what you're going to see is that if we look at this and we say, okay, so that was the assessment date. And so what I want to say is, all right, so the assessment create date, here I have an assessment date. So I'm going to say, yeah, that's the one I want down here. But I'm going to have to click down here again. Otherwise, what I'm doing is bringing this into this other table. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click bring that in, and you'll see that it now looks just like this one. But we're going to now move to another video which talks about how to do renaming and how to kind of manage these various objects now that we have them in the database. But we could also bring in other fields from other objects. But again, there's relationships that we'll talk about in a future video as well. Thanks for watching, and hope this is helpful.